Hello, and welcome to today's episode. The Bible is referred to as the living Word of God. It isn't a book that is meant simply to be read. It is a perspective-altering substance that is meant to be ingested and absorbed into you. And when it becomes a part of you, it changes you. And that is exactly what it is meant to do. A psalm is a spiritual song based on a profound, foundational insight that is expressed in the form of music, which is usually played on a harp. This is my own paraphrase of the Psalms. Now, there is an important difference between a paraphrase and a translation, and it is important to understand what that difference is. A translation takes a text word by word, and it finds the most accurate word in another language to convey the meaning of that original word. But sometimes getting the details right can come at the expense of the big picture. For example, the literal translation for a butt dial and the literal translation for a booty call could end up being exactly the same if they were both translated very literally into another language. But we all know that those are two very different ideas. A paraphrase, on the other hand, is attempting to capture the spirit of the idea that is being expressed. But both approaches come with their own disadvantages. Sometimes the most literal translation for each word, while technically accurate, loses something in its translation. For example, if you were to translate the phrase, "cat got your tongue," into another language, it would make no sense to them. Why would a cat grab your tongue? What are you even talking about? In order to convey the original idea, you would have to find out which saying is used in that other language to express the same concept. But it might not involve a cat, or even any animal at all. So the literal translation would not be a very accurate one. But in a case like the one that I just described, the idea is more important than sticking to a very literal translation that loses all of its intended meaning. However, because paraphrases are an individual's interpretation of the underlying idea, instead of a rigorous academic translation of the word, they are not as objectively accurate as a translation is. A paraphrase is a lot more subjective, and that makes it much more susceptible to interpretations that are way off the mark of the original text's intent. The focus of a translation is on detailed accuracy, and sometimes the broader picture is not conveyed very clearly as a result. The focus of a paraphrase is on painting that big picture, but it often loses the accuracy of the finer details. Both of these are useful as long as you understand which is which, and what the disadvantages to each approach are. And that is why I recommend using both an accurate translation like the New American Standard and a responsible paraphrase. Psalm 18, Part D, verses 30 through 42. The Creator's way is perfect. The word of the Most High has been repeatedly tested in the midst of the harshest fires, and it has proven to be without flaw. He personally is the shield of everyone who takes refuge in him. For who could be God except the Most High? Who else is the bedrock other than our Creator? For it is God who makes my way complete and wraps me in strength so that I wear it like armor. He makes my feet as swift and sure-footed as a deer, and gives me access to my highest peaks. He trains me to do battle until my arms can bend a bow made of solid bronze. You give me your shield, which is the saving grace you provide. You hold me up with your own steady hand, and your tenderness makes me powerful. You have created the room for me to lengthen my stride, and have cleared the ground beneath me, so that my footing never slips and my ankles do not turn. My steps are always solid under me. So I chased down my enemies, and I caught them. I persevered until they were destroyed, and only then was I finished. I broke them, so that they were not able to get back up, and I stepped over them where they fell. For you armed me with strength for this war. You bent those who rose up against me down until they lay beneath my feet. You made my enemies turn tail and run. You exposed their necks, and I wiped them out, despite the intensity of their hatred for me. They cried out for help, but there was no one to save them. They even tried to appeal to the Most High, but he did not answer them. So I pulverized them into a fine dust to be carried away by the wind. I threw them away like the dirty refuse of the streets. I pray that whatever voice God might choose to give me in this world, he would also give me the words that I should use it for. These words have meaning for me, and if they had some meaning for you as well, then I am truly grateful that we have both been given a gift from above and from each other. Have a good day out there, my friends.